Well, thank you so much for being here. Sorry that I'm a few minutes late, but well, on time is always 2 minutes late. Hi, how are you? My name is Sarah. In case you're brand new here, welcome. Whether you're watching this here live or on the replay, my name is Sarah, and yes, I'm a coffee drinking and tea reader. And we are back for a part of our weekly schedule where we go live 2 times a week, once on Mondays, once on Thursdays. So tonight we are doing a weekly tea leaf reading. So this is a general reading, look at the week ahead to see whatever the divine source, the boss, as I affectionately like to say, would like us to know as this week unfolds. Now, apologies for any background noise that you hear. It's actually the kettle. So my setup is a little bit different admittedly tonight. I had to move some furniture around this weekend, and I have not moved my background that you always see behind me. My background is over to my right right now. So I have a bit of a different background here, and I'll hopefully everything will be sorted out by Thursday, and you'll see the beautiful frosty pink background in the back very soon with my backlighting. But for right now, working with what we have. So thank you so much again for being here. Let me just have a moment or two just to get myself set up. And I hope everyone is enjoying this beautiful Monday and that your week is going well so far. So far, so good here. Just going to check the chat to make sure everything is set up properly here, which it looks like it is. Oh, I see. Dragonfly, hi, thank you so much for being here, Dragonfly. I know that you're in the chat right now, Dragonfly. May you please just let me know if you can hear me and see me okay? It looks like it's working fine on my end. Looks like there's a bit of a delay, but that's common. That seems to be quite normal for me anyway, whenever we go live. So if you may please, if you have a chance, just please let me know if you can hear me and see me okay. That would be awesome. Thank you so much. So I hope everyone is ready for this week. It looks like, well, we'll see what is going to be in the tea leaves, whatever the boss would like us to know, and we will go from there. Okay, so I see a message in here from someone named Jared the Wolf. So thank you so much for your comment, and thank you so much for being here. I don't do viewer readings here on Mondays. That is reserved specifically for Thursdays. Now on Mondays here, Nicole, you're back. Hey Nicole, how are you? Thanks so much for being here. It's awesome to see you as always. I was just briefly replying to Jared the Wolf's question. Let me just wrap that up really quickly. So I do not I don't offer live viewer readings here on Mondays. Just turn the water off here. If you are curious and you'd like to have a quick live TV reading, we do come back here on Thursdays. So that's part of our normal weekly schedule. Usually we go live Mondays and Thursdays, and Monday is the general weekly TV reading. It's a look at the week ahead to see again whatever the divine source would like us to know as the week unfolds. And then on Thursdays, that is when we do live viewer readings. And that is for anyone who would like to have a quick 5-minute taste test of a tea leaf reading. And both times, obviously, we're at 9 p.m. now, so both times are at 9 p.m. Eastern. So that's first come, first serve. Only offer 3 of those. Goodwill gesture on my part. So if you're curious and like to have one of those kinds of readings, please do come back again here on Thursday. I've already scheduled the lives for this week, so you should be able to see that under my tab here on my channel down below. And it should say live, and then click there, and then you should see the one scheduled for Thursday. So thank you so much for being here and for your interest. Just really catching up a little bit on the chat. I see some comments in here. I know there's a bit of a delay, I think, sometimes on my end. So Margaret, you're back. Hi, Margaret. How are you? So good to see you. Thanks so much again for being here. It's good to see you as always. My goodness, love your hair. Thank you. Aw. Well, without further ado, let's give a big round of applause and a big, huge thank you to our moderators. I always like to acknowledge my moderators because without my mods, I could not do this. It's extremely difficult to be doing live streams. It's just me in the corner of my living room. That's it. So it's extremely difficult to do everything here, to monitor the chat, make sure that everything is running smoothly, and also do the readings. It's extremely difficult. So I could not do without my mods. So a big round, there's Dragonfly. So a big, huge thank you to Nicole and to Dragonfly, my gorgeous mods, and you really allow me to do this. So thank you so much, ladies, for all of your help. I really appreciate it, and they will be monitoring the chat as this live progresses. And I just thank you so much for all of your help. Yes, well done, mods. Absolutely. Big, huge thank you to Nicole and to Dragonfly. Could not do this without you. Yes. Yay. Well, how is everyone doing? Is everyone ready for this week's weekly tea leaf reading? I know I am. I'm very curious, as I always am, to see whatever the boss would like, whatever the divine stars would like us to know. And yeah, so let's go from there. I do have the cup ready here. So let's go ahead and get the tea leaves ready while we just do our normal little chit chat as always. And that way we can sort of do two things at the same time, because it always, generally takes me a few minutes to get the cup set up here. So let me just get the hot water poured into the said mug. And yes, thank you so much for chatting amongst yourselves. It always is. I'm always so happy to see that. So thank you so much. And in case anyone, I see someone is here from France. Well, bonjour to you as well. Thanks so much for being here. And yes, what I always like to say too is we always do a quick little spiel about tea leaf reading, because sometimes people don't know what it is. Sometimes they've had experience of it. No, I know our regulars in the chat, you can say this verbatim, probably better than I can because you've heard it so many times. Well, let's quickly go over what tea leaf reading really is while I get the cup ready, just to save a little bit of time here. So, and please again, feel free to chat amongst yourselves. I'm always so happy to see that. Until such time that we can all hang out together in the same room, this is the next best thing. Okay. So let me swirl this. So tea leaf reading, in case. Now, I know some of you in the chat, know this already, but in case anyone is not familiar with tea leaf reading and you're wondering sort of what tea leaf reading really is, tea leaf reading is a divination tool, which are divine tools. They are ways to ask for and receive divine guidance. That's what they are. And what tea leaf reading is, it involves looking at images which are formed by tea leaves in a cup. And all the images within the cup may, on the walls of the cup, the size of the cup and interior, they can be literal, symbolic, and or both. And the best, most succinct way that I have discovered that I can say what tea leaf reading is in one sentence is that it describes the qualities and or characteristics of events and or situations which are likely to occur. So it's a big phrase, lots of words, but it really is the best way that I have discovered how I can actually relay what tea leaf reading really is in my own experience. Different people read differently. I've been doing this now for just over 14 years. So I myself do read chronologically. Excuse me. That's just how I've always done it. So as a quick reminder, the rim is a present situation. This is how I myself read. Different readers can tell you different ways how they do it, but this is how I do it. The rim is a present situation. The sides are on the way. And the base is more of the distant future. So now on the way and later. And for us, because this is a weekly tea leaf reading, a general weekly tea leaf reading, the rim is now, being Monday. Around the middle of the cup, approximately, is around Wednesday or so, around Wednesday. And the base is this weekend and heading into next week. That's how I myself read it. And yeah, that's how we do it. Now, some of you may be wondering, what is tea leaf reading? So that is, hopefully that describes to you very much in a nutshell what tea leaf reading really is and what's involved with this. So I'm just preparing the tea leaves right now, and I'm just straining out any excess liquid tea to get the right consistency compared to the tea leaves. And again, this is a look at the week ahead. This is a general tea leaf reading. So some, none, or all. And I always say this because people may say, oh, I'm Sarah, so long-winded at the beginning of these lives. Well, it's for a reason, because there's always this bit of a spiel that I like to say before a reading, and certainly before a general weekly tea leaf reading. Because this is a general reading, excuse me, some, none, or all of this information may apply to you and or may resonate with you. And that is completely normal and to be expected. Completely normal, because this is a general reading. So some, again, there only may be one piece or no pieces, or most of it, or seemingly all of this reading may seemingly apply to you. And if so, that's great and wonderful. It's a general reading. And that's always put that disclaimer out there. Entertainment purposes only, so please take what you will and leave what you don't. big long disclaimer in the description box below, as always. But I always like to say that verbally too. I also see that we have received a few new subscribes since the last live. So my genuine thanks to everyone who's here, who's watching this right now live, and also on the replay. I really appreciate all of your likes, your subscribes, your comments in the live chat, because they all truly do help, like truly help the algorithm and help this channel to grow and get the message out a little bit more. So thank you so much to everyone for all of your help and all of your support. So as always, we're going to aim for about 20 minutes approximately, and maybe a bit longer, but we're going to aim for approximately 20 minutes for this reading. I will aim to have this replay, the replay of this reading, posted by tomorrow. I'm going to aim for the morning. Now, I know that I did not get the pictures posted of last week's tea leaf reading. I just could not get around to doing that, but I usually do, almost always do, and I'm going to aim to have pictures of this tea leaf reading posted on my community tab as well, and I'm going to have that posted tomorrow before this replay goes live. And I like to do that just for your own reference. I always do that too. Like if you have a private reading with me, I always ask to see if you like to have your own picture sent to you. Again, it's your reading, just for purely for your reference. Okay. Just getting the right amount of liquid strained out of the mug. There we go. It's actually pretty good. I'll go quiet sometimes. This is one of those times. So how is everyone doing? Is everyone ready for this tea leaf reading? We'll look and see whatever the divine source, whatever God, the boss, would like us to know as this week unfolds. So let's go ahead and flip the cup over and get it ready. Again, we're going to aim for approximately 20 minutes. So we'll do a bit of a shameless plug here. Shameless plug. I do offer offer private readings. So if you are curious and like to see what would come through for you, if you want to have a private reading, I do offer private psychic medium readings as well as tea leaf readings. All of those links are in the description box below. I also have a Ko-fi account, so if you'd like to help this channel financially, should you wish to, and if you have the means to do so, thank you so much. Please don't feel like you need to, but should you wish to, thank you. You can buy me coffee or buy me a cup of tea and or buy Brie, our chocolate lab dog, a cookie. Thank you so much. Okay, now let's get this tea leaf reading ready. I'm just turning the cup about about 4 times usually, 3 or 4 times clockwise for tradition. Yes, I'm still sitting sideways in case you're wondering. Long-standing back injury, no pun intended. Thank you so much, Dragonfly, for answering that question there from Pamela Lay. So Pamela, thank you so much for being here. It's so good to see you. Thank you so much for your interest here. Yes, to what Dragonfly was just answered your question. But yes, that's on Thursday evenings. And that live is already scheduled. So if you look under the live tab here on my channel, I do have that live already scheduled for this Thursday. Dragonfly or Nicole, maybe please quickly just check and see. Is that the 22nd? I'm just not thinking offhand. I'm focusing here, but if you can maybe please just confirm the date. It is this Thursday, and that will be at 9 p.m. Eastern. And that is a live. Those are 5-minute tea leaf readings. They're like a taste test. The shortest amount of time that I do offer for private readings, Pamela, is 5 minutes. So again, these are like a quick taste test of a tea leaf reading. That is on Thursdays. And no matter what, whether I'm going to be going live or not, either Mondays or Thursdays, I always post on my community tab to confirm either way. I always do. So if you're never sure, please come over to my community tab. I usually post within about 2 hours or so approximately of going live, just to confirm, whether I am or not. Usually, sometimes I'm not able to, but regardless, I always like to confirm if I am, if I am or if I'm not. do post them fairly frequently, so you're always welcome to come on over and check that out too. Thank you so much, Dragonfly. Thanks, Pamela. Thanks for being here. Okay, so now have the tea leaves ready. This is, again, a weekly tea leaf reading, a general weekly tea leaf reading. Please seek what you will, leave what you don't. Entertainment purposes only. Some, none, or all of this information may resonate with you. Now I'm going to just show you quickly, as I always like to do it, show you the leaves. I have hardly even looked at them, so you're seeing them before I am. And to me, tea leaf reading is such a unique divination tool. I think it's one of the more complex, in my own opinion. It's actually a very complex divination tool. It sounds simple, but it's actually, there's a lot involved with it. And it's a little bit more on the unknown side, but it's also one of the more, I think, almost more accepted in a way. Like it's people do recognize it usually from a familial connection. Usually it's an older female member of the family who've done tea leaf reading or cup reading, whether that's like Greek or Turkish coffee grounds, or usually it's that, or sometimes tea as well. Okay. So is everyone ready for this reading? I'm going to go ahead and set my new timer a very dear friend of mine recently gave me. So again, we're going to aim for approximately 20 minutes. Okay, timer is now set. And let's go ahead and take a look at the tea. Now, if you have any questions about this reading, please feel free to put them in the chat. And this is just like generally speaking, any questions you may have about it. I will not be answering any questions, or I really won't be looking at the chat too much until the end of this reading. That way it allows me to focus on the reading. So my beautiful mods, Dragonfly and Nicole, I love you ladies. You're up. Thank you so much. I am literally turning the computer around. I'm not even looking at the chat right now. And again, you ladies allow me to do these readings. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Love you. Okay, here we go. And please feel free to put any validations in if any of this resonates with you. I'd love to hear, should you wish to. And here we go. Okay, so we have right now, we have one main area, we have two. Okay. So I would say, generally speaking, from what I'm seeing in here, we have, I use examples a lot. Like we have two main areas, two main events, inter-situations taking place right now, where things are either calm and clear and quiet, and we're happy with that, and or we want things to get moving a little bit more. So using examples, we have 2 golds right now and 2 bronze. 2 golds and 2 bronze. Okay. This is what tea leaf is. It's very, very descriptive. Oh my goodness, the main event situation is so small. Oh my goodness. Wow. Okay, that's fine. It's always no 2 cups are ever the same. Okay. All right. Well, let's go. Well, it looks like the beginning of this week looks like the beginning and the latter half. So I would even say, like, obviously this is Monday, but I would say like Tuesday. Wednesday looks fairly quiet. So I would say like even maybe Thursday in one area and also into Friday look to be a bit more busy. However, generally speaking, most of this week is fairly quiet, which is nice. I mean, this allows us to focus on whatever we need to focus on and not really be distracted or pulled into too many different areas, allowing us to get focus on what we need to focus on. Now, the main event or situation, it's extremely small, is barely an 1/8 of the cup. So I would say whatever this is referring to, it is not, sorry, my camera's shifting a little bit there, sorry about that. It really is not very significant at all. It's not a significant event or indoor situation taking place. Now, however, aside from that, we do have 1, 2. I'm going to say we actually have, it sounds like a little contradictory, but we have 3 events and or situations taking place very much in the short term. So I'm going to say specifically, I'm going to say tomorrow. I would say approximately tomorrow, we have 3 scenarios. One that is like the main, like the main or the most important of the 3. Then we have a much smaller one and a much smaller one. So let's look at the main one first. And just for your own reference, I'm looking at this grouping right here. Sorry for any glare, but this grouping right here. Okay, so overall, then we'll look at the main event. So overall, this scenario completely, from what I'm seeing, again, take what you will, leave what you don't, is comprised of a new idea. It's a new opportunity, a new idea, a new concept of some kind, something that's being contemplated. I would say it's principally happening again tomorrow, like Tuesday, because we're doing this on Monday night. It involves some kind, like what it's almost like whatever is being contemplated is some kind of unconventional stability. So it's a situation that I use that word a lot, I use that phrase a lot. So it's really a situation that is, again, offers stability. It's just a very unique way of going about it or receiving it or having it. There's not so much, like there's not quite as much talking and or like thinking or thoughts or words involved in that scenario. Generally speaking, it looks like it's actually more like there's some, but for the most part we're seeing things take place in front of us. Like there's actually like clarity and things actually happening that we're seeing and or experiencing. It looks like a positive scenario. It really does. Like, it looks like we are receiving good things with this. There's a little bit of, but with the positive, like receiving good things, from what I'm seeing, sort of essentially takes place as the situation concludes. Again, I'm saying approximately Tuesday. So as this new idea sort of thinking concludes, that's where we're Adam, what's the right word? But we are actually like seeing it taking place. Like there's clarity regarding that. But there is this action momentum taking place with that scenario as well. But this is all to do with unconventional stability. Now there's also a Cancerian connection. Now I am absolutely not an astrologer. I'm not a numerologist by any means. Don't pretend to be. However, there's also likely a Cancerian connection involved in this scenario, as well as house and her home. So take what you will with that, but I would say that if this is not referring to an actual physical human being who is a Cancerian by birth, so that would be astrologically like what, late June to late July approximately, then it's the qualities of that, which again are hearth at home with your family, emotions, intuition, healing, things of that nature. But again, there's this house connection that's involved with this in some way, shape, or form, involved in this overall scenario. Looks to be positive. There's happy faces all around it, so it's a good thing. But there is stability regarding it, and it begins with some kind of an announcement or an announcement of some kind. I would say it's positive, but it's some kind of announcement or message or something to that effect. I mean, and I use multiple words because if you watch any of my videos, you know this. Nicole and Dragonfly, you can totally, say this verbatim too. But I use many different words because sometimes like one word may resonate with someone and then another word wouldn't. So I do use multiple words quite often to convey what I'm seeing, just to get clarity conveyed as well as possible. Yeah, but there is this element of like a feminine element of truly reading very good things. Action momentum, things taking place rather quickly, and almost like a burgeoningness, like a burgeoning of that, like increasing, a sense of like increasing, receiving like something very, very good, and there's an increase in that in some way, shape, or form. Bit of an unconventional stability that is regarding that as well. Letters M, like Magdalene, M, person, place, or thing, likely to do with an actual physical like human being with this. But again, we have action momentum, things taking place rather quickly. And I just keep seeing like stability, unconventional stability, receiving good things, house under home. I already see two different houses here, one larger one and one smaller one. If you are contemplating a move or something to do with the house, whether that's like renovation or repair or whatever it is, the larger of the two houses I'm seeing in here is not quite ready as of yet, as of now, as of later. But the second one that is present as the situation concludes is more well formed. So it's like the first one may be larger or more significant, but still underway. Second one, less significant, but more ready, or if that makes sense. keep seeing houses, house under home, home under family. Someone with the letter E in the name. Now, if this is not a female, then it's likely someone who, likely there's an angelic connection in some way, shape, or form with that. Now, there could also very well be the letters J and the letters R involved in some way, shape, or form, possibly. Partnership beautifully forming with that as well. Most likely the letter E, though. And again, it's a creative project. This is like what I mean, like this burgeoning sense of creativity, or this receiving like an increase of something. So creative project, a new creative venture in some way, shape, or form. Letters are always people, places, or things whenever I see letters in tea leaf reading. So the letter S is present. Maybe the letter U, but U under S. Close communication, sorry, that did not come out right. Close communication between two individuals. And it's like they're thinking, they're talking, they're thinking about two different things, a conversation between two people, and they're together, they're working together or communicating together in some way. And this is about two different things. Or there's three different aspects. There's one part and then another part that has two parts to it. That's also being contemplated very much in the short term in terms of this whole idea, this new concept, this new opportunity that's being contemplated here, like tomorrow, essentially, from what I'm seeing. Yeah. Communication as well. And possibly some reassurance being indicated too. Now, this whole section, excuse me, from what we're seeing right here, is actually related. So my throat's sort of dry tonight, as always. Now, this area is actually this, this new idea, this new concept is related to the main event or situation in I want to say up to 4 or 5, up to 1, 2, 3, 4 different ways, but it is related to the main event or situation. Now, looking at the other two parts or other two short-term scenarios taking place, like tomorrow, the smaller of the two, it's really not significant at all. I'm just saying this in case it may resonate with you. Bit of a glass half full, glass half empty perspective, perception, scenario taking place. If anything, it's actually a new opportunity that's being presented. It does look positive. Looks like we are receiving very good things with this. And there's likely either a document or education connection, like a paperwork connection in some way, shape, or form. Possibly, maybe the letter L, or simply just getting things organized in some way, shape, or form that's present. Now, the third of the three, again, this really has to do more with it's a larger scenario, but there's really not much happening within it. It's that kind of situation. But there's ample stability that is involved in this scenario. And it really does begin imminently with a new idea that's being contemplated. Again, this is not significant. I'm just saying this in case it doesn't may apply to you. There really is more thinking and talking, again, that's involved with this. And likely one individual in particular. It's hard to say. It's really hard to see if it's more of a man or a woman, but it's specifically one individual, I would say. Maybe with a darker hair, maybe with a possibly darker skin tone, like a darker coloring, darker physical coloring. And this conversation does continue actually into the weekend. And I would say around Thursday and Friday, it really picks up and becomes more significant. We will look at that momentarily. No? Well, and what I find interesting too is aside from this main event, around later in the week, like I said, like I was alluding to before, there's these 3 different parts or 3 different sections. Actually, there's 4 of them, and that's what's taking place. That's part of this conversation that does take place soon. This person soon does lead to this more of a conversation taking place around Thursday and Friday. Okay. I mean, again, aside from that, there's really not too many things taking place. So again, generally speaking, a much quieter week than normal than what we usually see. Now, normally I don't start with the main event, or normally would go to the main event or situation right now, but I'm going to look at these other 3 or 4 groupings actually because they're very much intriguing me. So let's look at that right now. So this conversation that we just talked about, this general conversation and our thoughts and our words taking place throughout this week, and specifically more significantly on Thursday and or Friday, looks positive. So around Thursday and Friday looks positive. Receiving some kind of, there's positive communications. I would say there's positive communications taking place. Likely about the house and or home, the home and or family in some way, shape, or form. Again, lots of talking. Letter L, person, place, or thing. Maybe the letter J, possibly. Maybe the letter J. Letter M as well. This all involves a harmonious situation. It's very loving, supportive. Letter H as well. And as we go down a little bit further, yeah, using our intellect, yes, and also a fairly significant change. And what I find very intriguing is that it's seemingly a very small and relatively insignificant conversation taking place. However, what I do find very interesting is that it does lead into the base and specifically into an area where there's a lot of many different things taking place. So basically we have a reprieve this week. This weekend looks extremely busy. Extremely. And that's what partly what this conversation leads to. Okay. There's likely an individual with a letter E in the name, E and or F, taking place around Friday, heading into the weekend. Again, we have this possible Cancerian connection, yes, but even more so than that, I would say it's a significant change. Even though the change is fairly small, it is actually leads to quite significant, quite a significant scenario or scenarios this weekend and heading into next week. Also, this also involves a possible partnership. If so, it's a very small one. And there's a new opportunity being contemplated around that. And also working with other people, which makes sense of the partnership. Okay. Now we have another scenario. Now, some of us actually may be planning a short-term trip this week, like an overnight or a couple days. If so, again, this is on Thursday. And it's related to part of the main event or situation that does have a lot of thoughts and words, thinking and talking present. Now, this area, this event, it's a new opportunity. It's a new opportunity of some kind. It's comprised essentially of, I'm going to say maybe up to 4 different parts of it. But it's a unique opportunity. It is a unique situation. It's not like it's even very well formed right now. However, as of now, as of later, it looks like, I mean, it is present. It's just a unique opportunity that's being presented. It may not even seem very significant. I just find it very unique. It looks positive. It's positive. Reassurance is also being indicated around this. And new beginnings as well. Reassurance actually specifically is being indicated regarding either a conversation with someone between two people, and or documents, paperwork in some way, shape, or form. This is either to do with, again, education and or paperwork in some way. With a Cancerian connection. Okay. Now, looking at these other 2 parts, again, some of us may also have planned a trip around Friday as well. If so, it's more of either a slightly longer term trip and or it's a bit more significant than the other one. There's definitely a sense of there's 2 parts to it, but there's definitely a sense of wisdom, underlying wisdom. There's a lot more to a lot more taking place below the surface than what we really even see. There is a possible Leo connection to someone either likely who is that sign and or the qualities of that sign present. The smaller part of this scenario involves likely the letter A, quite possibly the letter A, balance, and even more so than balance, I would say. There may be an element of balance, yes, but there's three parts to it, and like it's a partnership. It's a partnership. There's likely also an Aries and or a Taurus connection as well. And again, the letter M, I keep seeing that, as well as documents, paperwork, and or an education connection possibly as well. Open communication between at least two people. And again, there's reassurance regarding this. And also things coming along beautifully. Like it looks like it's coming along very nicely in terms of fruition. Like things are taking form very, very nicely. Now, the larger of the two parts of the scenario, again, I keep seeing references in here to partnerships being discussed, talked about, and or formed or forming nicely. There's quite a bit of communication regarding these two scenarios as well. But let's see, what else do we have? Again, we have a lot of document. I keep seeing paperwork and or education references in here, and also receiving good things too. Whether this is like either like financial wealth, material wealth, figurative wealth in some way, shape, or form. Abundance and prosperity. And this scenario does lead, and I think that Leo connection that I mentioned earlier, I think this actually is pertaining to someone. Sorry, there we go. It's approximately 20 minutes. We'll just wrap this up. It is referencing likely an individual who is that sign, someone who is Leo. Leo and or Scorpio. Leo and or Scorpio. New opportunities are present with this as the situation concludes and heads into this weekend. I would say specifically 2 new opportunities that are actually being like quite apparent to us. Now, wrapping up this main event, let's take a quick look here. Mostly it is comprised of an equal measure. Actually, I would say a bit more talking. I would say maybe like 60-40 in terms of conversations, thoughts of words, ideas, like things up in the air a little bit, and or like discussions taking place as opposed to clarity. But we definitely have some surprises as the week unfolds. Starts off with a new opportunity of some kind, but this new opportunity, like it's something new that's like clear, like something new is being presented from what I'm seeing. And it's being presented, but at the same time, it's also being contemplated too. It's like two different ideas or opportunities combined into one. One's being thought about, and at the same time, there's an element that is being presented to us in some way. Now, there also may be a Libran connection, again, someone who is that sign under the qualities and characteristics of that sign. Now, it does look like a very nice scenario. It's harmonious. There's a lovely heart that's beginning to form, so it looks like a good situation. Letter A, again. Communications, again, about the home and or family. Abundance and prosperity, yes. Open communication between at least 2 people. Looks to be an intriguing scenario. Likely about the house and their home, the home and their family in some way, shape, or form. This is to do with a partnership. It's a partnership in some way. Letter C and or G is present. It's almost like something is being contemplated, talked about, discussed, but the whole house and their home and their family, and then as a result of that conversation, a partnership takes place. Now, maybe it's like, for example, you and your significant other, you and your partner are discussing having plumbing fixed. As the situation concludes, you call a plumber. Right? It could be something as base level as that. Okay, we have a keyhole. I'm always so happy whenever I see keys under keyholes, because to me, they represent, like, we have everything that we need to get this one thing done, whatever the situation may be. And all we have to do is, should we wish to do so, put the key in the keyhole and unlock the door. We have everything that we need to accomplish this one goal, to achieve this one goal, and all we need to do is just proceed with it. So I'm very happy to see that. So some lovely, lovely situation taking place, most likely tomorrow, where that is the case. Again, I keep seeing references to receiving communication about the home and our family. I've seen that a few times already in here. Heading into Wednesday, again, house and or home and or family, something to do with the property in some way, whatever that may be. that is also helping to form a lovely partnership too. Now, these are all fairly small scenarios that I'm seeing in here, truly. But that's okay. It's making this weekend makes up for it. Now that also is sort of a result. This what I just said about the partnership forming, that looks to me to be a result of like taking that leap of faith, turning that key in that lock. This all leads to this like taking that leap of faith or going to achieve that goal with that key. Looks like it results in a fairly significant conclusion, to be honest. And that conclusion results in that conversation that helps to form or endorse forming that partnership that I just mentioned like a minute ago. Glass half full, glass half empty perspective perception scenario taking place there, but it does look to be a positive situation. We certainly have happy faces as it is unfolding, and this has to do with material gain in some way, material financial comfort or wealth in some way, shape, or form. Some of us may be smooching on around Wednesday. I'm just putting that out there. A little smooch. And then around Thursday, approximately Wednesday and or Thursday, situation where we have a very loving and harmonious scenario, yes, but the qualities of like really unconditional love, support, commitment, protection, companionship, knight in shining armor kind of energy or qualities or energy or feelings. That is around again Wednesday and or Thursday, most likely Wednesday. And that is involving some kind of abundance and prosperity that involves multiple people, at least two people. I'm going to say at least two people. It's abundance and prosperity. It's like a bit of a celebration that's taking place. Again, I keep saying, not to sound like I'm not to, I don't want to sound ever, I never want to sound repetitive, but I can only say what I see. And if I keep seeing the same image or similar images with, similar meanings, different images with different meanings, I'm going to keep saying them because that is what I'm seeing. And I keep seeing references throughout this week to receiving communications about the Homelander family. I keep seeing it repeatedly. So nothing bad or wrong with it. I'm just kind of curious. So this situation specifically, that is also the case. And it looks like a loving, good situation. There was abundance and prosperity regarding it. And reassurance, I would say as well. Even though it's a slightly smaller situation, it is positive. And it does involve action, momentum, things taking place rather quickly. But again, these really beautiful qualities are like dragon qualities of protection, commitment, unconditional love, support, loyalty, those qualities being present. Now around Thursday, heading into Friday, bit of surprises, a couple smaller surprises. But going for whatever it is that we want to have, not being held back, triumphantness, happiness, likely person, place, or thing with the letter G, most likely a person with the letter G in the name, G and or W and or E. So G, E, and or W. Again, Scorpio connection with that. New ideas, new conclusions, new opportunities, all being thought about and presented all at the same time. But like a beautiful progression of that, like being thought about, presented. Yeah. Lovely abundance and prosperity regarding a beautiful conversation between two people. Letter N is involved with that. Letter N and or the letter D is also related to that entire scenario as well. And I keep seeing property. So Thursday heading into Friday, divine protection is associated with that whole scenario. I firmly believe that we have divine protection at all times anyway. Just sometimes in TV reading, I see indications of that, which to me are just beautiful reminders that it is present. House and home and her family is present. And again, there's like something to do with like the material gain, even if it isn't gain, it's material wealth and comfort, material abundance in whatever way, shape, or form that may be. But this is like material. Quite literally like the house and her home. Open communication, talking about something good, I would say. Cancerian connection, letter J and or U. That's in a lot of letters. A lovely, albeit small, partnership. And then at this point in time, in Friday, from what I'm seeing here, lots of talking. Lots of communication, more so I would say concentrated talking at the end of this week. There's like a wisdom, like a sage quality, like a wisdom, wise qualities being present. And this all helps to create a scenario that is a new opportunity that's being presented. It may not be incredibly obvious, but the thing is that it's a bit of a unique scenario. It's very positive. We are receiving very good things, I would say, with this. It's just that there's a lot of like discussions, ideas, thoughts up in the air, conversations, action and momentum, vitality, those kinds of qualities concentrated in this one scenario. Yeah, I'm really just going for whatever it is that we want to have. And also reassurance also being indicated too, but very, very like loving, I would say, from what I'm seeing in here. Right now, heading into the base this weekend, heading into next weekend, a lot of talking, a lot of busy. Not supposed to know too much, but we do have a beautiful letter W that's forming very nicely in here, as well as, well, some surprises. Letter F, letter S, changes. Letter J, open communication between two people. I would say likely between a man and a woman. Abundance and prosperity. The thing is that they're quite tightly grouped, so we're really not supposed to know too much, but I'll say what I can. So we do have a situation in here that involves working with multiple people, action and momentum, letter E, and forward movement. Okay. Abundance and prosperity, yes, but it's a lovely partnership that involves like two different parts, or again, like a conversation between two people. It's a very loving, good, harmonious scenario that likely has a letter F somehow involved with someone, maybe letter E, but most likely F and or E. And it's about receiving positive things, and there's a lot of protection and goodness around that entire scenario from what I'm seeing. Again, action and momentum, not being held back. Taking some time out for our own self-care, whatever ways that may be. A lovely partnership, though, that's being contemplated on our part. And that entire scenario does result in abundance and prosperity in about 3 different ways. It's like we have two different parts. One of those abundance and prosperities has two parts to it. One has one part, or there may be a third part, there may be a fourth part. I'm not sure, but right now it looks like there may be a fourth part, or it's still sort of forming. So there may be a fourth one. But again, definitely forward movement. It's like this feeling and this theme of not being held back, going for whatever it is that we want to have. Life force, vitality, happiness, abundance and prosperity. Yes. Stability, standing in our own power. Very much like a loving divine masculine energy in here too. Possible Sagittarius connection though, quite honestly, as well. And happiness and dancing and feeling very positive and very good. Again, most of this has to do with things taking place like in front of us. Like we're having clarity regarding situations, and we're seeing things happen as opposed to more talking and discussions and things up in the air and being thought about in comparison. So I would say it's a more 80 to 90% seeing things happen as opposed to like 10 to 20% conversations. But there are a lot of happy faces, so it looks like this weekend is going to be very good, just incredibly busy. So I would say we should all use a quiet time to our best advantage this week and to be as productive as possible, get anything that we need to get done, so we are ready for this weekend. So I'm going to go back and check the chat, and that is our tea leaf reading for the week. I hope that everyone enjoyed it and found it to be helpful. We got it in less than an hour, which is wonderful. Just going to be checking the chat again here and get myself caught up. As you know, I don't read the chat whenever I'm doing the reading, whenever I can help it. It allows me to focus on the reading. Candy B, well, thanks so much for being here. That's awesome. Thank you for your help, Dragonfly. That's so lovely of you. Thank you so much, and see you on Thursday for sure at 9 p.m. Eastern. Absolutely. Nicole, thank you so much. Well, everyone, that was a lot. Thank you so much for being here. I really hope that you enjoyed that reading. It looks like it's going to be quite a quieter week than we've probably, I think, ever have seen in all of the weekly tea leaf readings that we've ever done here on this channel. They're usually a lot busier. So from what we can see, a quieter week, but that doesn't mean that nothing is happening. It just means that it's just a generally quieter week, getting us ready for this weekend and next week, which looks to be completely crazy and very, very busy. So I would say if this was a private reading, I would say use as a reprieve, use the time that we have to pace ourselves out, to be as productive as possible, to get anything that we need to get done so that we are prepared for later when things will be busy. That's what I was saying. Not telling you what to do. You do what you want. Yes, Nicole, thank you so much for all of your help, everyone. Thank you so much, Margaret, for all of your help. Thank you, everyone who joined this tea leaf reading, whether you're watching live here or you're watching on the replay. Thank you so, so much. And again, I will aim to have this posted tomorrow by early, late morning, and pictures of the tea leaves reading of the tea leaves also posted before this replay goes up. And thank you again so much, everyone. If you are just interested rather in having a quick 5-minute taste test of a tea leaf reading, make sure to do come back here again on Thursday, August, I think it's the 22nd? Thursday, August the 22nd, also at 9 p.m. Eastern, as Dragonfly very sweetly said in there in the chat. And we do 3 5-minute tea leaf readings, first come, first served. So if you're curious, please come back on Thursdays, and I will do my best to read for you then. So everyone, thank you so much for all of your help. My huge, huge thanks to Dragonfly and to Nicole for being our beautiful moderators. Love you ladies so much from the bottom of my heart. And everyone, thank you so much for all of your sweet comments. And we will see you again very, very soon on Thursday. Until then, have an amazing week ahead. Hope that you enjoyed this reading and found it to be helpful. And until then, take good care. Have a great few days, and we'll see you on Thursday at 9 p.m. Love you. Bye.